it takes a lot of mental stamina to become someone you're currently not, because to become someone you're currently not means that you're going to have to do something that's outside your comfort zone, because who you currently are is existing in the comfort zone you have. That's why you have what you have, because it's inside your comfort zone.
Yes.
You can't say you want something that's outside your comfort zone and not be willing to get outside your comfort zone. If you are already getting that thing, it means that you're currently in that comfort zone.
It's easy.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience. I am Tracy Self. Is it Thursday? I don't know. If it's Thursday, not Thursday, it doesn't matter because you are here with us. Right, babe?
That's right. Congratulations on tuning in to another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. And we do launch this every Thursday, guys. And as T-Self said, you can go back and watch it any day that you want. But just know every Thursday we launch right here with the Self-Talk Experience. Because remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what we attract for ourselves.
What should we be saying to ourselves about ourselves today?
We should be telling ourselves today that it's important to be yoked in any relationship with someone who has a similar vision.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's division.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think it's critical in business, even in a intimate relationship, to talk about not just what exists today, because I think it's easy to get caught up in the commonality, what we have today that we both like. We both like this particular restaurant today. We both like doing these particular activities today.
Right.
But if no one talks about, now, what's your future goals? Then in the future, 5-10 years from now, it feels like, man, we're not on the same page. But you actually potentially weren't on the same page 10 years prior to, but no one ever talked about what they saw in the future, right? Because vision is just like a mental image.
Right.
It's a picture of what you see in the future.
But that's different from being compatible, right?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it may go hand in hand, but it's different,
Yeah.
right?
So when you're compatible, it just means you guys may laugh before the other one person even gets the joke all the way out. It just means that you guys have similar things that are an easy fit. You know, like when you're compatible with someone, you don't have to work hard at making it work and making it fit.
Right. And sometimes if you have things in common that you like, that's different. Because, for instance, let's say we have in common, we hike together, right? And you're my hiking buddy, and that's what really bonds us together is the hiking. But let's say I get injured and I'm not able to hike anymore. Do we still have the relationship that we had before, or were we just hiking buddies?
Right.
So sometimes when you are maybe compatible, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but sometimes you are, but sometimes things happen. Yes, people grow apart and get different interests, but sometimes it's nothing you can do to fix it. Like if I literally can't hike anymore because of an injury, it's different than, I don't like hiking anymore. Well, I still like hiking. That's different.
Right. Yeah. And look, the bottom line is, if we're talking about having a vision that your friend, your business partner, your spouse has bought into, even if you can't do, this is my point I'm trying to prove, and you proved it, and I don't even know if you knew you were proving it, and that is, it's bigger than today, right? Because you're talking about hiking today, maybe even hiking a month from now,
right?
But let's talk about 15 years from now. It's got to be much bigger than the things that you and I do today. For an example, if I'm saying, hey, look, my goal is to create wealth for our next generation. So our grandkids are set up in a way that they wouldn't be if we wouldn't have paid the price.
And that's your vision.
Right.
Okay.
And I would see if you're willing to buy in to that vision. If not, what happens is the things that you want to do today will not line up with the things I want to do today, because the things I want to do today may be a temporary sacrifice because of what I see for our family in the future. Otherwise, you're like, well, why can't we do X, Y, and Z? I'm like, yeah, because we said we were going to build up this nest egg. We said we were going to start generating this amount of income so we can invest. And you're like, yeah, but I want this. And I want to go on this trip.
Right.
And I want to buy these particular clothes. And this is why people, they say, you know what, finances, the number one reason why people break up. Yes, it's finances, but think about the bigger picture. It's because there's not a common vision.
What they want to do with the finances.
Exactly
and
right.
where they should be allocated.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if the shared vision is there, then we're like, you're right. We're supposed to be buying this second home.
Right.
You're right. We're supposed to be buying another property. You're right. We're supposed to be putting money into a tuition fund because you're seeing, wow, our kids are going to be going to school 15 years from now, 20, whatever it is.
Right.
So that's what I mean by vision. It's the image of what you see long term. And this is why the self-talk has to be important. And that person is not there to be an advocate, is not there to celebrate the self-talk that you're giving yourself, is actually contradictory.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking more about being compatible in the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because it's easy though, right? You're like holding hands, walking in the park. You guys are, laughing together. Oh my gosh, you want to go to a movie? Oh, I love scary movies or whatever it is.
Right.
And yeah, you have that in common. You both like scary movies. You have that in common. You both like sushi.
Right.
But let's talk about this. This is if it's a long-term relationship.
Sure.
Same thing in business. Like if Mike Heems and I not have a common vision of let's impact as many lives as we can. Let's create as much wealth as we can by helping others to elevate, helping others to win. If he was like, look, I don't really care about people. You know what I mean? Whether you got to step on people, whether people will be hurt in the process, as long as I'm getting mine, I'm good. And I'm not knocking people who think that way. I'm just saying I don't think that way. And so it wouldn't be
I do knock people who think that way. That's not nice.
I don't think it's nice either. But let's just face it. In business, sometimes the money is the primary motivation for folks.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with money being a motivator, in my opinion, unless it means harming other people in pursuit of that money.
Right. But you're saying you have to be on the same page as your business partner.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. When you're casting that vision of what is it that we see, what is the vision of our operation, our organization, our company?
Yes.
And that has to be shared. Otherwise, there will be some conflict. And typically it won't work out long term, even if today, because what happens is you get a win today, you get a win in your relationship and y'all are so happy, you're smiling. Oh my gosh. In business, in an intimate relationship, you know what I mean? It's easy to, again, feel like, man, we got so much in common. But will it last if we don't have this shared vision? At some point, you're like, I don't see why we're doing this.
And in that instance, when you have the shared vision, you should also be along the same lines as your self-talk, right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does. Because, I mean, when you think about affirmations, when you think about all the things we're saying to ourselves about ourselves, especially as we're practicing saying healthier things to ourselves. So we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
We're seeing the glass as half full. We're seeing ourselves as better tomorrow than where we are today. So that type of self-talk is healthy. But if someone who we are in relationship with, business, friendship,
Right.
Intimate relationship,
Right.
and they're like, I don't understand why you're happy all the time. Right? And ain't nothing that good all the time, right? So that person who sees the glass as half empty or sees, the I don't want to say the negative side, but they're quick to be the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
sometimes though.
I know, but here's the good thing. Because we have a shared vision, we're able to communicate through that. And you're like, I see it. Right? Because we both want the same thing long term.
That's true. Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? We both want to be healthy long term. People are like, listen, you're going to die someday.
Oh, no.
No, I'm seriously. So you're right. Like, everybody knows somebody like that. You're like, hey, listen, let's optimize our health. We made that decision, right? We're like, all right, let's start. So we're on this journey together. You know what I mean? So let's decrease inflammation. Let's be healthy. We're on walks. And we're like, how many days consistently can we walk together?
Yes.
Right? Can we take the stairs instead of the elevator? Like you're making these conscious decisions together, not because of doing it today. Yes, today.
But we have the vision.
We have the vision of where we want to be long term.
Together, right.
Right. Otherwise, it's like, you always, everything is healthy. Can I just have my cheesecake with whipped cream and sprinkles on the top? I didn't bring up cheesecake. I think because we talked about it in a previous episode.
Talked about cheesecake.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I think, in fact, I know it's critically important, guys, as we began this walk on our positive self-talk, to ask, have we shared a vision with the people closest to us? Hey, listen, I just want you to hold me accountable. And because we're connected, and because we're best friends, because I would hate to disappoint you, because I see our relationship lasting forever, because I see us being business partners forever, and we're going to be able to accomplish this, and we're going to change so many lives. That has to be communicated so that the partner can say, hey, honestly, I don't see that.
What if you're communicating it and one, the person says they're saying it but really don't, or two, just doesn't say it? Yeah. How long do you go down that path?
Well, there's a lot of variables there. Because some people, easy. Some people honestly think they want what it is they're saying out of their mouths. They're like, I do see myself having a boat and living on the water.
Right.
But then when it comes down to
don't match.
Exactly. When it comes down to what's necessary and maybe some of the resistance they're gonna have to face.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Some of the change that's gonna take within.
They haven't grown to be that person yet.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of mental stamina to become someone you're currently not. Because to become someone you're currently not means that you're going to have to do something that's outside your comfort zone, because who you currently are is existing in the comfort zone you have. That's why you have what you have, because it's inside your comfort zone.
Yes.
You can't say you want something that's outside your comfort zone and not be willing to get outside your comfort zone. If you are already getting that thing, it means that you're currently in that comfort zone.
It's easy.
Right. Yeah. So if there's something you currently don't have and you want it, it typically exists outside of something you're currently doing, or you would have it. And that means you're met with some resistance from the old you saying, well, we never done it that way. Haven't done it that way in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And so like even in my line of work, we find people all the time like, man, I have a degree. I've been in business. I mean, why can't I get this marketing strategy down? Yes. And this 19-year-old can, because a 19-year-old doesn't have as much to unlearn. You know what I mean? This person who's 45 has learned a lot of an antiquated strategy, perhaps. So now they got to be willing to unlearn what they spent money learning, spent time learning, right? And so that's not always easy to say, well, I put too much time in now, I'm going to make it work, instead of making the adjustment now, because today is the youngest we'll ever be. And if we're not careful, we're like, man, it's been too long now. I'm 55. Yeah, but you're going to be 56 prayerfully.
That's good. That's really, really good.
Yeah. So it's not as easy. And that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of variables there when you're talking to someone who's saying they see it and perhaps they don't really see it. I think for the most part, unless they're just a liar, I think for the most part, people say,
and because they want to.
Yeah. They're like, okay. Yes. Especially if they want to do it with a particular person. They're like, let's do it. Let's move there. Let's go. Let's make that happen. But again, time tells. You know what I mean? It reveals some things. We always say it either promotes you or exposes you. Yes. Time will. Yes. It promotes who you really are or exposes who you really are.
Yeah. And commitment is a huge word.
Yep.
It is.
So, and look, guys, because this is self-talk, that word commitment is not just about what you're committing to others. It's what you're committing to yourself.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it tough in leadership, because I teach a lot of leadership lessons. And the first person you got to be able to lead is you. So when you start committing to you and doing the things you say you would do, it is easier to commit to others because you're so used to being in the habit of commitment. It's like, hey, I said I was going to get up at this time and I got up. I said I was going to work out today and I worked out. I said, even if you can't do as much as you said you were going to do, you did 5 push-ups.
Right. You
said you're going to do 10, but you did 5. That's better than doing nothing. Well, I'm just not going to do it today. Do 1 of something. And that's it. And that's what I believe, and I've seen it so often, that because we can't do some, we do none.
Right.
And some is always better than none. Like, I can't stay the whole time. Good. Stay some of the time. Some of the time being in that environment, networking with people is better than none.
Right.
Like no time in that environment, not networking with anyone.
Right.
Right. So if this self-talk experience episode were to teach us anything through our lessons, we are an example of some over none. Oftentimes.
Kind of like if somebody owes you $50 and they don't give it to you until they have the $50. No, just give me $1 for 50 days so I can get my $50 back. Right? Is that what you mean?
But hey, I wasn't going to use that example, but yes.
Some instead of none. I mean, okay.
But it is actually I wouldn't have used that example, but it's actually a very good example.
I'm just putting it out there.
No, it's a very good example. And so it's just like, you know what? What if you said, you know what? I don't really feel like brushing my teeth.
What is happening?
Hold on. Like, you know what I mean? So people like, oh, I'm just going to do it later. And then, yeah, exactly. and then that became a habit.
Yes.
Because anything we do or don't do becomes a habit. Did you know that? I know you know that.
I know that.
Listen, guys, and I know brushing teeth is not a good example, but listen to this. Anything you do or don't do becomes a habit. And this is critical for us to understand. So not working out becomes a habit. I have a habit of not working out. Working out is a habit. I have a habit of working out. And so I use brushing your teeth because hopefully it's a habit of folks. But if you don't do something long enough, not doing it becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
Not eating right becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
Not personally developing yourself becomes a habit. Just like personally developing yourself becomes a habit. So when folks say, I'm not sure if I can do that, sure you can. Sure you can. Because it's easy to do, but also easy not to do.
Right.
You just get to choose.
Right.
Now, look, there's some physical activities that, yes, some people aren't able to do. Right? There's some physical activities that I may not be able to do like I did when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? I can't run as fast without injuring something probably,
You're
right?
still a great runner, baby.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But you guys get my point. So this is why doing some, is always better than none, because doing some becomes a habit. And when you do some and it becomes a habit, you do some more. Now you've actually done more and that more becomes a habit.
Yep.
You see what I mean? And now 8 is a habit. Then 10 is a habit.
And your bar just keeps rising.
That's exactly right. And it works that same way in finance. It works that same way in relationships. It works that same way with commitment.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So I'm just more committed than ever before. And we all have an opportunity, guys, in our lives, and especially with our self-talk, to make sure that we are being careful
and
thoughtful when we're sharing our vision with folks, and it is not shared. It's not a common or shared vision long-term with that person. So I can share my vision with you, but if it doesn't become a shared vision on behalf of both of us, it does become a little difficult in the future to continue to move forward, because the resistance of the person next to you, you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to make them feel bad.
Yes.
But yet it's going to hold you back. I mean, if we're just honestly speaking.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I share all your visions though. Don't worry. I'm right here.
Yes, you are.
Tell me one of your visions right now. Yes, I agree. I'm with you.
But look, let's just tell the audience the truth. There are times you're like, and especially in the beginning of our business.
Sure, of course.
You know what I mean? You were like, you know what I mean? Because
it's not easy.
No, it's hard to see. Let's just say, throw a number out. It's hard to see $1 million a year when you're struggling to pay your bills.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm like, right? So give me 1 month. Let's forget 10 years then.
Let's start.
Let's just start, and let's see what 30 days. 30 days, can you support me for 30 days? If can we agree that we can give up this and sacrifice this and delay this for 30 days and see what this result is? And you were like, I can do that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right? If you didn't get your nail done and I didn't do this and you didn't do this, and we could take those same monies and invest it in the growth of our business, which is what we did. Right? Lunch meetings, coffee dates, or whatever it took for me to sit down with people to share with those prospects our vision.
Right.
And you were like, okay, we can do that. And look. See, thank you.
30 years later.
Thank you for buying in. But 1 month turned into 6 months, turned into a year. And we just kept adjusting it.
Yes.
So, and guess what we did this year? Adjusted more.
Adjusted again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Start somewhere. Some is better than none. Share your vision with those who are closest to you and get their buy-in and see if they, even if they don't want the same thing, they should be in support of what you want. And, but if you're married to them, your significant other, I think it has to be shared, right?
Absolutely has to be.
Yeah, it has to be shared. There's going to be a few challenges, but I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm not a therapist. So you seek that help and they can give you some professional advice. I want you to say, yeah, Darnell said, the dude Darnell on
that
the pod.
voice, though?
I know, I always talk like that dude Darnell said on the self-talk experience. He told me, look, this is just our own experience. That's why it's a self-talk experience.
Darnell and Tracy.
Yeah, Darnell and Tracy. Yeah. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the self-talk experience. Remember, the things you say to yourself about yourself eventually will determine what you attract for yourself and even the person that you have to share vision with.
Absolutely. And if you owe me something, just give it all to me.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.